Hello, everybody. This is BK International Talent Scout on Rainier Avenue Radio World. You can see my show, hear my show on YouTube, Facebook, and on Rainier Avenue Radio World. My show airs on Sundays at 8 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 12:30 p.m. So you could catch my show 3 times on Sunday, which is my premiere day. My show also airs on Monday at 10:30 a.m. and on Fridays at 9 a.m. Rainier Avenue Radio World. Rainier Avenue Radio is your community radio station and digital media hub. We're a 24/7 radio station and multimedia network dedicated to amplifying diverse voices like BK presents on Rainier Avenue Radio World. Providers of digital media training to community members to become their own content providers. And you can always advertise on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Just email us, rainieravenue radio.world@gmail.com. Watch us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Listen on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Tune in. You can even listen to my show on Alexa with Amazon. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, on Twitter, Rainier Avenue Radio. So listen to BK. Our PSA plug is the Black Nativity. Yep, the Black Nativity is playing at the Langston Hughes Theater. It is playing from December 10th through the 28th, directed by Valerie Curtis Newman, music director, my friend and brother Samuel L. Townsend Jr., and choreographed by Via C. Bynum. Langston Hughes gospel song play returns, featuring 30 performers, a live band, a powerful musical vocals, citywide gospel choir, and a chance to sing along. The magic and joy of Christmas stories brought to you in life with vivid color, dance, music, joyful holiday celebrations for all ages and beliefs that have you leaping in your feet. Hey, IntimonTheater.org, Broadway Performance Hall. But this one is playing at Langston Hughes. And Langston Hughes is our community center, our living room, and our concert hall. So always support Langston Hughes. Let's get into the show, you guys. We got a good show today. From cover up to building trust in a relationship. From covering up a cheater to therapy counseling to building trust in a healthy, loving relationships, it can happen for you. It can happen for someone in your family. You can go from a broken relationship to a renewed, loving relationship. Let's get into the cover-up. So the first part of our show, we're going to be talking about the cover-up. 15 reasons why Christian women cover up their partner's infidelity. 15 reasons why Christian women cover up our fidelity. So, let's get into the show. Yes, thank you. 15 reasons why Christian women for partners, unfaithfulness private for a combination of faith-driven convictions, emotional coping, strategies, social pressure, and practical concerns. Key motivations to covering up your partner's cheating. Number one, deep emotional attachments to long-standing bonds, shared memories, enduring love can feel irreplaceable. Exposing betrayal may threaten the very foundation of the relationship, of the marriage, of the family that has been built for 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. The second one is financial dependency. Leaving or confronting a cheating response often carries the risk of reduced income, loss of joint assets, and the challenge of supporting a household in solo broken in half. The practical reality can encourage silence. Number three, protecting children and family stability. Many women and many partners opt to shield their kids from the shocking of divorce, public scandal, believing a two-parent home, even a wounded one, is better than upheaval. Number four, fear of loneliness. The prospects of starting over as a single adult with social stigma and emotional void can feel more daunting than staying in a betrayed marriage. Societal and church or Christian cultural norms and faith communities sometimes has a martial endurance for spiritual maturity, pressuring women and partners or men to pray through infidelity rather than speaking out, seeking counsel, seeking wise counsel, talking to leadership, joining small groups to overcome infidelity, to overcome cheating, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. Because your cheating affects your social world, your church world, your community world, your political world, your spiritual world, and your intimate world. Societal and church expectation, norms, and faith community sometimes just wants you to pray through it. But then there's times when you have to speak out and speak up. There's times when you have to run to safety, talk to family leaders, talk to friends, talk to counselors, go to small groups, get help for your tough situation. Hope for reconciliation and change stories of restored marriages inspire a belief that healing and forgiveness can triumph over betrayal. So many choose patience over public exposure. And I say, we're going to do part 2, how to rebuild trust in your relationship, in the second half of this interview and this short talk. Faith emphasis on forgiveness is very important. Christians' teaching on grace and mercy can lead women to prioritize extending forgiveness privately, hoping it spurs genuine repentance in their partner. But sometimes there has to be accountability. There has to be an openness. There has to be a safe place for the man or the woman that's being destroyed through the cheating. They must be rebuilt. Both parties, the cheater must be rebuilt, restored, and bring in accountability. Also, the wounded partner, man or woman, must be restored. Understand accountability, gain support, and what actions that can be taken to help the individual heal, develop, move on at times, but also the family needs counseling, the cheater needs counseling, the person that has been cheated on needs counseling, and I think couples counseling and couples therapy is important, and that's where you can speak up and get things back on track for love. Avoiding judgment and gossip in close knit churches or communities, admitting a spouse's affair can spark shame, rumor, being ostracized. Some keep the matter under wraps to preserve their family reputation, their individual reputation, the representation of the church, the business, the political front, the community front, the family reputation. Denial as a coping mechanism, the mind's instinct to protect itself from painful truths can drive women or men to downplay or ignore clear signs of infidelity. I always tell my family and friends, when you lose your man, your woman's attention, your relationship is in trouble. When you lose your man's, woman, or attention, your relationship is already in trouble. Teaching wife submission when submission is taken meant absolute silence. Women may feel it's their duty to endure the betrayal without complaint. Women that have been cheated on need support through a small group. They need counseling. They need to know they're not the problem. They can become the solution and begin to healthy looking at the alternatives for your future life. Lack of provable evidence without tangible proof. Text messages, emails, photographs, confirmations can feel futile or unfairly, so many remain quiet until they know for sure. And sometimes seeing the text messages, the emails, the photographs, man, that is some kind of hurt, pain, shock. And guess what? This is what happens when you go through a grieving process. Both parties go through a grieving process, whether you're a cheater or you've been cheated on. There is denial, there is anger, there is bargaining, there is depression, and there is acceptance. And once both parties can accept, they can move toward building a healthy relationship. Let me keep going through the list here. Fear of escalating conflict, concerns about emotional outbursts, verbal abuse, or even domestic violence can make women or men reluctant to stir the pot. Well, this is where you bring family, church leadership into this part of the relationship for protection, for accountability, sending both parties to small groups to gain the tools to get back to love. Listen, letting family members know, letting community leaders know, letting small groups know where you can get help for both parties will lessen these negative things that can happen. It can lessen domestic violence because everyone's watching and looking. No one's hiding. And if there is verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and domestic abuse of violence in the relationship, we may have to think of ways to get the parties separated in a healthy way so that the woman or the man can be in a safe place, get into a clear conscience, to see how they want to move forward with their life, with their family, and with their relationship. Low self-worth and self-blame, eternalized shame can lead to women to believe that somehow it's their fault, making them hesitant to accuse or expose. It's not the accusing and the exposing, it's the acknowledgement and the acceptance of what's going on. Bringing that person into accountability, bringing you into accountability, setting you up with a small group so you can get help, setting him up with a small group so that he can get help. There may need to be Christian counseling, couples counseling, and family counseling. I want to read this: low worth, self-blame, eternalized shame. Women and men that have been cheated on go through a lot of tough things. It's so interesting that people that cheat, sometimes their life can bounce back quicker than the person that has been cheated on. Why? Because the person is stuck in the grief cycle. They're stuck in anger. They could be stuck in depression. And imagine feeling those things in your body. Imagine someone holding on to the cheating inside their mind, their body, their spirit for 5, 10, 15 years, never getting help. And sometimes they never break out of the grief cycle. But if you go all the way through the grief cycle, then you can go on to get help. You don't have to get stuck in the grief cycle. You don't have to get stuck in the cheating cycle. You don't have to get stuck in the anger and the depression. You don't have to get stuck in denial and bargaining. Accept what it is and understand that it's not your fault. Get counseling, get support, move forward, and you can look back on that and say, hey, God brought me out of that cheating grief cycle. Desire to maintain church standings and holding in leadership, teaching Sunday school, or simply being active in ministry can make public scandal feel like too high a price for airing private pain. It's not the airing of the private pain, it's the getting counseling for what you're doing to someone that you claim that you love. We're trying to get you help. Beyond understanding these motivations, navigating a partner's betrayal within a faith context involves balancing spiritual convictions with personal well-being. Number 1, seek wise counseling from a trusted pastor or a Christian counselor. Establish clear boundaries for communication and transparency, leaning on small groups and mature believers for prayer and support. Explore biblical principles for justice, reconciliation, and self-care. Okay, guys. Now, I'm going to go into the quick teaching how to rebuild trust. I got to do it in about 10 minutes. How to rebuild trust. Heartwarming. It allows us to believe in others or open up to them, the ones we love the most. We can learn to trust, or we can learn to distrust. Trust is a major part of a loving, intimate relationship, the foundation of interpersonal relationship between family, friends, and associates. Initially, trust may seem easy to come by. However, once broken, it can be lost It can be destroyed by a single moment of betrayal. In a fraction of a second, all hope and security can be lost if relationships is plagued with suspicion and fear. Focus on identifying what trust building behaviors are. Be willing to exert amounts of energy and time in prayer and communication demonstrating trust building behaviors. Be consistent, stay on track, and don't give up. Being able to do this will help us begin the journey of rebuilding and sustaining a trustworthy, healthy, intimate relationship with the ones we love. The trust that others put in us should never be taken lightly. Abusing and breaking trust is like snatching the love rug from both parties. Rebuilding trust is doable. It takes work on a daily basis. It takes time and it takes your commitment. What can we do? What can we do? Drum roll, please. The first thing that we can do is acknowledge. Sometimes you know up front what you have said or did to break the trust, so acknowledge it. If you genuinely don't know what happened, ask them to give you feedback. If the other person has openly confronted the situation that has broken the trust, the worst thing that you could do is become defensive. Go into denial, start excuses, or start lying. Saying stuff like, I hear you, I understand for saying, I can see what you're hurt. This is a good response. Like, I hear you, I understand what you're saying. I can see that I've hurt you. I admit that I am wrong. I will not do it again. I accept full responsibility for my behavior and my mistakes. I want to be a part of the healing process in our intimate relationship and the healing process in your life. Let the other person drive the conversation. Let them ask the questions that are important to them. Let them express how they feel openly. Let them tell you what they need. If you don't do this, you're stuck. You're stuck, and it's time to get unstuck. And then we must learn to apologize the right way. When rebuilding trust, it is important to give the right type of apology at the right time. Apologies work best after you've given thought, consideration what you did, and understand your behavior impacted the other person. Once you have done this, you will be able to give the right type of heartfelt apology. The other person will be able to discern your sincerity, and your apology will become meaningful and easier to receive and embrace. Never give an excuse or explanation with your apology. Doing this will take away from the impact of your apology and will most likely ignite an argument. These apologies sound like this. These type of apologies are not good, so don't use them. I'm sorry, but when you did what you did, I did what I did. So I'm sorry. I was only acting on the advice of someone else. I'm sorry. I was angry when I did what I did. I'm sorry. I'm not happy, so I did what I did when I'm sorry. What? Let's get to it. Guess what? You provide an explanation when you're asked. The best way to apologize is to say you're sorry for the harm that you've done and leave it at that. Let the apology stand on its own, and the apology should sound like this. Your heart may be racing, but you gotta say, I apologize for what I did. State what you did. I know what I did was wrong. I will work on not doing it again. I will continue to go to small groups. I will continue to go to counseling. Please forgive me. A sincere apology is powerful. Saying I'm sorry at the right time, in the right moment, in the right spirit will lead to these 8 things that are factors in rebuilding healthy relationships. It will lead toward forgiveness. It will lead toward trusting again. It will lead toward openness again. It will lead toward respect again. It will lead toward intimacy again. It will lead toward healing again, the restoration again, and the full reconciliation of a trusting, loving relationship. From cover up to building trust in a relationship. This is my first part of this series. We're going to go deeper and deeper into this. And we hope that you can understand that people don't want to stay in fidelity. Ways to get out of infidelity, ways to get out of cheating. The affair must end. Whether it's emotional affair, physical affair, financial affair, substantial affair, business affair, political affair, the affair must end. And then you work on rebuilding trust. Setting up accountability. That's right. Giving your wife or your husband the password to your phone. Checking in with them through the day, through the evening, and even through the night. Find a common motivation to reignite love in your relationship. Clearly identify relationships issues, engage in couples counseling,